Hello Pokemon trainers, this is GatorEX, and today we're diving back into the anime as I put together a quick little prediction slash wish list about which Pokemon I think Ash should have going into the Sun and Moon anime, in the Alola region. Now of course, this is strictly my opinion slash speculation. There is absolutely really no way of proving or of guessing what he could possibly have, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw together a little list. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. Of course, going into the anime, I did one on Team Rocket recently, or actually that was a while ago, but everybody seemed to really like it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right started with the starter. Now, as far as which starter Ash chooses or decides to pick or has altogether in the anime varies greatly. In some, he'll have all three. I did notice a pattern though. In the anime series where his female traveling companion is a character who's not based on the main protagonist of the video game, he ends up having all three. Say in the first, in Kanto, in Johto, and then in Unova, where his companion wasn't based off the protagonist of the game, he had all three. While in Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Kalos, since his companion was based off the game, they ended up getting one of the starters. So in most of those, he had either one of the starter or only two, which that one was in Sinnoh. That is the one exception where he does have two rather than one or three. Of course, this is extremely dependent on who his traveling companion will be in the Alola region, and since we don't know that exactly, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that his companion is going to be based off the Glove World protagonist of the Alola region, so that we can choose and narrow down to one starter Pokemon that he could possibly have. So what's the one starter I chose? Well, Popplio. Popplio seems to kind of fit Ash's personality a little better. Now, Rowlet is a pretty cool Pokemon and is almost enigmatic with how little it tends to show, which that could definitely fit. He's had Pokemon like that before, and Litten, well, I don't know, Litten seems kind of a little too moody for Ash. Popplio is just extremely happy, excited, similar to several other starters he's had, so maybe this could be one of the one that's just extremely peppy. Now, even though he did have Froakie in the XY anime series, it'd be repeating a water type, but I still feel like Popplio just kind of fits him best. Next is Pikipek. Now, it's no surprise that in every single anime series, Ash owns the beginning bird Pokemon, so Pikipek isn't really a hard choice. It's almost a given, it's almost like necessary, so there's really not much more to say about that. It kind of is almost confirmed that he's going to have Pikipek. I mean, in the previous ones he had Pidgeot, Noctowl, Swellow, Staraptor, Tranquil, and then Talonflame, and even in, that's even weird, in Kalos he had 3 flying type Pokemon, but, well, whatever. He's gonna get Pikipek, very likely. Next up is Rockruff. Rockruff is a pretty interesting Pokemon. Now, there has been quite a bit saying that there's something important about Rockruff, or that he has something tying him to the starters. So it's very possible that Ash could own Rockruff, and we might see that manifesting in the anime. Now again, whether he ends up owning the rest of the starter Pokemon or his companions own one of each of them, I definitely think that at least one of them will own Rockruff, because we'll probably see all 4 of them coming together in some sort of special episode of the anime. Also, not to mention, this would be the first time Ash has owned a Rock-type Pokemon since Roggenrola, and that's pretty interesting that he has hardly ever owned a Rock-type Pokemon aside from that one, so maybe this could be a great way to spice up the mixture. Next is Salandit. Salandit's a pretty interesting Pokemon, and I think it's definitely one that they would want to show off in the anime. Now, of course, in my Team Rocket video, I did mention that it's possible Team Rocket could have Salandit, but I still think it's very possible for Ash to as well. He would probably play a similar role to other Pokemon that Ash has had, such as his Crocodile or maybe even his Scrafty. I definitely like to see a cool lizard reptilian, but then again, Salandit, Salamander, Amphibian, but who cares? I think that Salandit could definitely fit. And also, every time I say Salandit, in my head, I imagine it in Ash's voice. It just fits really well. Try it right now. Salandit. And lastly is Crabrawler. Crabrawler was a recently revealed Pokemon, and it's an interesting one, being a crab Pokemon that's not actually a water type, being a fighting type instead, but it almost seems like one that could definitely be in Ash's team, maybe one that's really eager to fight and is almost rushes into battle, like, other Pokemon that he's had before. Maybe it could even be similar to like a mix of Scrafty and Kingler, and I'm kind of only just saying that because it's a crab and the other's a fighting type. That's really peppy and wanting to fight. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, that's been all for this team prediction. Now this one wasn't, I feel like it wasn't as good as the last one because it's really open-ended. You know, the thing with Ash, he gets at least 2 guaranteed. He's going to get 1 starter, he's going to get the bird Pokemon, and then the rest, well, there's really no rhyme or reason or pattern to them, just whatever he tends to like or whatever, you know, whatever the writers tend to end up giving him. But I don't know, I think these choices could be neat to see. I definitely like to see them. Out of all of these, I feel like Rockruff is the strongest chance of it, him having, you know, aside from the early bird Pokemon and a starter. So I definitely think that Rockruff could be something you could have. Of course, these were only only 5 Pokemon. The 6th would be Pikachu, and then not counting what else he might catch throughout the Alola region. But this seems like a good little starting team that could definitely be fun to watch in the anime. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Are there any Pokemon you think that he will have? Some that I listed that you think he won't? Let's go ahead and have a discussion. Anyway, if you'd also like to see more videos like this tackling the anime, go ahead and check that out. I do have one kind of in the works that relates to this, maybe that kind of relates to the whole starter thing I mentioned, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.